What's up guys, Justin Greenwald here. Welcome to 65 Drums. This is part of my full Roland vs Yamaha video. I realize not everyone has the time to watch a full 30-minute comparison video, so this is just the section of the video where I'm doing the head-to-head comparisons of all the Roland drum sets versus all the Yamaha drum sets. Enjoy this video. If you want to watch the entire extended version, go on my channel. I'll see you guys in a few. Alright, before I get into this comparison, I want to point out two things. First off, I tried to put every single drum set Roland and Yamaha are currently selling on this list. There might be something here and there that you don't notice because maybe you're watching this in the future and there's new drum sets, Roland or Yamaha, that are about to unveil that I don't know about. But currently, this is about what both of them are selling. The second thing I need to point out is that you'll notice they're not directly compared to each other on price very often. They're doing this little dance where they're always like $100 apart here or $200 apart there, or it's just, they're never quite completely exactly compared to each other. Like these two are both $1,600 and these two are $600, but most of the time they're always like $100 or $2 apart. I'm trying to be fair in this comparison, but just know that they're always going to be a little bit apart from each other money wise, so you can't do a direct absolute comparison of most of these drum sets. All right, let's get started at the $400 price mark. The DTX 400K used to be about $500. I remember back in the day I did a comparison of these two drum sets, the TD1K versus the DTX 400K. Now that this is at $400, if you had the chance to buy either one of these, I would have to say go buy the 400K. If you're on a budget and that's why you're only spending this amount of money, you might as well save that extra $100 and get this one. There's no huge advantage to buying either one of these things. Just off the top of my head, I remember that these have just a softer rubber feel. I like the feel of these better. The pedals are about the same. I don't like the fact that there's not a kick drum tower, but it is what it is. I like how these cymbals don't just wobble around all the time. When I was playing this, I remember they wobbled around a lot. I didn't crank down on the plastic little screw on the top, but that's just what I remembered. The sounds are a little bit better on the Roland TD1K, but the module over here is a little bit more powerful. But again, this is all at, $400 or $500. If you're on a budget, you might as well save that extra $100. You'll want to upgrade later on anyway, so save the money now and just get something that's going to make you practice. All right, so let's move on to the $600 price point. I believe this one right here is a Guitar Center exclusive. It's weird how they're the exact same price. One of the only differences is this snare right here. This snare is like one of the same pads that you'll get on the DTX 500 series toms, and you're getting that 2-zone pad right here as the snare. Meanwhile, this is like a 1-zone snare, I believe. If you're gonna buy this one or the TD1KV, I'd say the TD1KV is the better one in my mind because it does sound better and you're getting a mesh snare right here. If the DTX 450 had a DTX silicone snare right here, like over here, a proprietary pad that just feels better than standard rubber, then the comparison would be a little more even. So in this case, I believe it sounds a little better and you've got that better snare. I think that makes this one the clear winner in this case. Let's move on to $700 and $800. Again, they're not directly in the same price bracket, but then again, they're not trying to do the same thing either. These two drum sets are trying to do different things. This is for the travel-focused guy who has limited space, needs to fold this up into the shape of like a golf bag. This thing folds up into an incredibly small shape. And then, you can transport it really, really easily. The kick drum is actually embedded on the snare or on the stand right there, so that's a big advantage. Meanwhile, this drum set is just trying to be an all-around good drum set. You got a 3-zone ride cymbal right there. You got the DTX silicone snare. The kick drum tower right there has an extra input, by the way, for like an extra cymbal. This is just an overall good drum set. This is for the person that doesn't have much space in their car or in their bedroom while they're practicing or needing to take this out quickly to different gigs. You know what? If you're that kind of guy, go buy this one. If you're wanting just an all-around good drum set, this is the better drum set for $100. All right, let's move over here to the $1,000, $1,200 price point. The TD11K versus the DTX 532K, just to get the hi-hat on the hi-hat stand, and of course the 3-zone cymbals right here. I don't know if it's worth that extra $200. I really like the TD11K because I think it sounds really decent for this price point. Still at $1,000, you're not getting a really good sounding drum set, by the way. I'm not gonna try to BS you and say you're getting a great sounding drum set, but you know what? I'd rather get the TD11 just because I like the way this sounds better. Also, the kick drum tower is a little nicer. It's got a cloth rubber mixture feel right here. It's really unique. It doesn't have an extra input on it, but Overall, I'd rather get this one. It's slightly cheaper. If you buy this used right now on eBay, you can get it for 800 bucks. If I had to buy a new drum set for around this price point, I would actually get the DTX 522K because it's only 800 bucks. If I was buying new, I'd get this one because it's cheaper. So go for that one if you're sort of beyond the $500 range, but not quite to the TD25 yet. Right down here, for 1,400 bucks, you've got the TD1 KPX. That is an insane amount of money for this drum set. You've got that entry-level TD1 drum module, the same one that's on that $500 drum set. That's the same module. But I'll tell you why this is so expensive. These toms are mesh toms, the mesh snare. They're all like, they're all, 100 or 200 bucks a piece. And then this little hi-hat pedal is 300 bucks. So that makes it way too expensive. Who has 1,400 bucks for a small little travel size drum set like that? If you're in a travel conscious mode, go get this. It's 700 bucks. It's cheaper, and the drum module has more ports on the back of it. So go buy that one. I think it's the better buy. Let's move on over here to the TD11KV versus the DTX 542K. So at this price point, they're really evenly matched right here, but I wouldn't buy either one of them because it's just trying to be too much. You're not getting the greatest drum module of all time by buying either one of these drum sets, or this one for that fact. So you either just save a little money by buying one of these, or save up a little more money and buy one of these. By the way, you'll notice these two drum sets are chilling over here by themselves, doing nothing. They're not really competing with each other. I really like the TD25K, by the way. It's a really nice drum set. Vastly superior drum module to the DTX 562K if you're comparing the two. Let's move on to TD25KV versus DTX 720K. You got a better kick drum tower right here, but you get an extra crash cymbal right here. I believe the TD25KV outguns sound-wise the DTX 700 series right there. DTX 760K, it's chilling by itself, not really competing with anybody. Really, no drum set competes with it for another 500 bucks, which is my drum set, the TD30K. Obviously, I'm biased with this thing, but I absolutely love it. It's a really great drum set. I think the TD30 outguns the 700 series right here sound-wise. If you're wondering why these two drum sets, which are exactly the same, cost different, you're paying an extra 200 bucks for all these individual stands, which I don't like the look of. Let's move over here. The 900 is their flagship drum module. The first number is always the kind of drum module you got. So this is their flagship. Great flagship drum module. Has a lot of little things that the TD30 doesn't, or even the TD50. Go check out the full video if you're watching only the partial clip to see what I'm talking about. But these drum sets, they're decent, especially the 950K. You get the full range of pads. They're great, but I believe I'd rather get a Roland TD30 or a TD50, especially right here. This is outgunned, definitely outgunned. You get a TD50 drum module, 18-inch digital ride, big 14-inch snare versus all of this. Of course, you're getting one less tom, but I believe this is the much better drum set. Very powerful, brand new drum module. This drum module right here is actually a DTX Extreme 3 that's reskinned with a couple of software updates. So it's an older, aging drum module. Meanwhile, this brand new technology from Roland, and I really think it's outgunned. So over here, all by himself is the TD50KV. Way too much money to spend for a drum set like this. But then again, I can't really criticize it too much. It's basically the Lamborghini of electronic drum sets. Of course, Lamborghinis are overpriced, but this is the best. You have to spend an extra 300 bucks if you want the conversion package. Convert your acoustic kick drum with a $300 pack. Yeah, but for 8,000 bucks, you too can have the best in electronic drums. So those are my thoughts on the Roland and Yamaha lineup. As you can see, there are different price points where I'd rather buy a Roland or I'd rather buy a Yamaha. I never used to be this open-minded. I always used to be 100% Roland. I thought they were the best at every single price point. But you know what? They've shifted in prices and I've learned more about the Yamaha features. I have played a lot of the kits I've mentioned here, by the way. I'm not just talking about specs. I've actually played a bunch of these drum sets. I like both companies. I lean more towards Roland, so know that I am biased. But that's what I think are the best at the different price points. That's like a general overview of Roland versus Yamaha. Let me know if anything I missed down in the description below. I tried to be as accurate and give you as much detail as possible, but I'm sure I missed something. And I don't actually own a Yamaha drum set, and I know a bunch of you guys do. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm always making new videos, and I will see you guys in a few.